This is another video in my Math You Can Use Everyday series, and I'm going to give you some examples of comparison shopping. And some with a calculator, some without. Most people, when they're going out shopping, they often have a cell phone with them. And if you have a smartphone that has a calculator built right into it. So a lot of people have that option now, even if you're walking around a grocery store or a department store. So let's start with, let's say you have two different tubes of toothpaste. You have a smaller one, 70 ml tube for $1.99, or a 120 ml tube for $3.89. So one way you can compare these to see which one's the better buy is to find the cost per unit or cost per milliliter. Now, if it's the cost per milliliter, that means I would take the cost, the $1.99 goes first, and we would divide it by the number of milliliters. So bring my calculator over here. So if $1.99 divided by 70, so 0.028, so that would be dollars per milliliter. So it's about 2.8 cents if you want to think about cents per milliliter. So let's do the other one. Bring the calculator back here. So the cost per milliliter for this one, we would type in the cost first, $3.89, and divide it by 120 milliliters for the bigger one. And so that's 0.032, which would be about 3.2 cents per milliliter. So see, this one's only 2.8 cents per milliliter, and this one's over 3, so this one is a little bit cheaper. Now, something that you'll see sometimes, especially in grocery stores, maybe not with toothpaste, you might, is they'll often, instead of like the cost per milliliter or cost per gram or cost per ounce, it might be the cost for 100 milliliters or something like that. So you see, if I take this 0.028 number and multiply it by 100, then that would be $2.80. If I take the second one, the 0.032, and multiply it by 100. So see, that's $3.20. So if we compare both of them, if you were buying 100 milliliters, then this one's $2.80, that one's $3.20. So again, you can say the $2.81 is cheaper. So that's how you find the cost of 100. 100 is often chosen because it's a nice round figure that somebody can get their head around more readily. See, a milliliter is something very small, like that. This tube actually isn't that big really, and it's got 120 milliliters in it. So the cost per 100 is something that's often done. Second one here, we've got this ground beef. You got a 600 gram package for $5 and a 1.014 kilogram package for $7.89. So again, which is the better buy? So we're going to find the cost per kilogram. Now, this is in grams, this is in kilograms, so you do need them in the same unit. There's 1,000 grams in 1 kilogram. So if I take that 600 and divide it by 1,000, so that's actually 0.6 kilograms. So that's why I'm dividing the $5 by 0.6 or 0.600 to get the size of that package. So if we take 5 and divide it by 0.6, we get $8.33 per kilogram. Now this one here, it would be a straight $7.89 divided by 1.014 kilograms. And just to show you what that one looks like, I clicked on my calculator there, 789 divide 1.014. So that one's $7.78 per kilogram. And so we can see that the larger package is the cheaper one. That's often the case, but not always. You see up here we actually had the smaller one was actually the cheaper one. So bigger is usually cheaper, but not all of the time. Now, sometimes you might not have that calculator option available to you. Maybe you've forgotten to lift your cell phone home, or it's in the vehicle. So using multiples, so let's say you're comparing a 2-pound bag of potatoes for $2.99 to a 10-pound bag of potatoes for $8.89. So which is the better buy? So now this is what I mean by multiples. You see, 2 pounds and 10 pounds, see this is 5 times bigger than this. 10 divided by 5 is 2. So if I were to buy 5 of these, that would be 10 pounds. So if I take this, well, it's almost exactly $3, and multiply it by 5, 3 by 5 is 15. So you see, if I buy 5 of those at $2.99 a piece, it's almost exactly $15. So this one is a better buy because it's only $8.89. Again, often the bigger quantity is cheaper per unit. Not always the case, but in this case it certainly is, because to buy 5 of these for $15, that's certainly not as good a deal. You'd save yourself $6, a little more than $6 if you buy the single 10-pound bag. So the 10-pound bag would be the better deal. Now, using multiples again, if you don't have the calculator option with you, back to the toothpaste here, if I were to find what multiple of this one is the same as this one, or very close, so if you list the multiples of 70, very similar to listing the multiples of 7. So the multiples of 70 are 70, 140, see 7, 14, 21, so 3 times 70 is 210, and then 280, and then 350. So remember the multiples of 7, they're 7, 14, 21, 28, 35, etc., 42. So you might need to do several. So I'm going to stop there. For 120, the multiples of 120 are 120, doubled it is 240, tripled it is 360. Now, these aren't the same, but they're pretty close. They're only different by 10 milliliters. So this is, unless the prices were really close, this is probably going to do it for you. So this is the 5th multiple, the 350, this one here. So we're using these multiples right here. The 5th one and the 3rd one. So if I take, now, again, I'm talking about if you don't have a calculator with you. So this is pretty close to $2. And so if I multiply it by 5, because you see what I'm thinking about is buying 5 of these. If I buy 5 of these, it's pretty close to $10. And that's going to be very similar to if I were to buy 3 of these 120 mil ones. So now that's pretty close to 4. So I'm going to round that to 4. 4 times 3 is 12. So you see, I'm getting almost exactly the same amount of toothpaste, but buying 3 of these is 12. Buying 5 of these is only 10. So again, we can see that this one is cheaper. It's about $2 cheaper. And again, that agrees with what we had back here, that the cost per unit or cost per 100 milliliters was cheaper for that one. So if you don't have the calculator with you, that's something you can do, like finding multiples of the two things you're comparing to get to the same amount, and then compare the money values for those multiples to see which one's the better deal. So that's the end of this tutorial. If you have any ideas for something like this, math you can use every day, then leave a comment in the comment section suggestion. If it's something that I think will benefit a large enough group of people, then maybe I'll make a video about it. So that's it for this one. Thanks for watching.